Hello you guys and welcome to this week's video. I am going to be showing you how to overgrout your fireplace. This is my first time doing this, so we are going to learn along the way. And if you came here for a how-to video, don't click off because I researched before I did it and I'm pretty sure I did it somewhat the way that everyone else told me to do it. So I hope you still enjoy. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Courtney and I've been currently renovating my 121-year-old home, but occasionally my sister needs my help. So today we're gonna be in her living room, and if you missed it, we already made over her dining room. That was so fun, and it was such simple upgrades, and that's exactly what her house needs. It doesn't need anything wild, doesn't need anything crazy. So we will be making over her living room, but this is the first in the series where we are going to be transforming her fireplace. So when she first moved in, you guys, are you ready? This is the stone that was on her fireplace. Now, some of you may like this, but I'm pretty sure this stone is what's just like naturally in the ground around North Carolina, and so they just put it wherever they can. A lot of the times you'll find them made into like walls or like pathways or that kind of thing. So she does have this on the outside of her house as well, but it just was very like orange and like lots of colors happening here. It wasn't very peaceful. And so she originally just painted it white. She actually did a lime wash. She lime washed it, but it was like stark white when she first moved in, just because she's like, I can't look at this. And ever since then, she's always wanted to change it a bit because she just said, I like the idea, but I don't overall love what it looks like. So she asked me, her handy sister, if I would do kind of like a German Schmear technique. And then as we were doing it, she's like, just cover the whole thing. So the goal today is that we are going to be doing this, and we are also going to be filling in a bit more and making the cracks or like the grooves, what do you call them? You guys are like, this is a DIY video, you should know all the terms. All of the grout lines, I guess you would say, like between the stones. Is there like a specific term for that? Is a bit big, and so she just wants to make that less noticeable. So this is part one. We're gonna be making over her fireplace, and we've got some more stuff, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Give this video a thumbs up, and let's get into how to do this.
All right, let me show you just a quick before of the overall space. You can see what we'll be working with. And then this is the fireplace. So as you can see, she lime washed it before, but there's still so many deep grooves, and you can't, well, maybe you kind of can tell, it's a very stark white and also has a lot of gray tones from the original stone. So of course, first we need to clear out the space so we can get to work. So some of you might be able to spot our mistake right away, but let's just get into it in a second. So my sister got this concrete mix, and I'm just going to go ahead and do 6 cups of the dry mortar and then mix it with about 3 cups of water. And what you're looking for is kind of like a mashed potato consistency. And yes, we had no better tool than to use this measuring cup. So bear with us as we use some kitchen accessories to get this going. I highly recommend getting this attachment for your drill. It just makes mixing a lot easier and a lot less messy. And I don't know if you can quite tell here, but as I was mixing it, I thought, that's weird. It's a little bit wet still. And make sure that you are getting all of the concrete down from the bottom, but also make sure you're not using concrete. That was our first mistake. I realized, I was like, this is very soupy, and it's also gray, not white. And then we realized that we actually needed large tile and stone mortar to get the white color. So my sister ran to the store quickly, and once again I did these 6 cups of the dry mortar mix and then 3 cups of water, and luckily I was starting to see exactly what we wanted. So you can see here it's going to be darker than what it's going to dry. This will dry just perfectly white. So you mix it all together, and like you can see here, it is definitely a mashed potato mixture, maybe a tiny bit on the wet side. My first batch, I for sure could have done it a little bit more dry. Maybe just added in another scoop or two. But it ended up working out just fine. And then you will need a mortar piping bag. And this took me back. I used to work at a bakery and decorate all the cupcakes and frost them all. So this just definitely took me back. Also, if there was a better way to scoop the mortar in, please let me know, because I was struggling and I just had this paint stirrer and I don't know if there's a better way to do that. But also we quickly realized I forgot something.
I didn't dye it! The mortar peg? Shoot. Or what? I didn't dye it.
That's right. My sister wanted me to add this color buff to the dye. We were very scared because we read 2 different articles that said it can be very potent and so to use just a little bit. So I literally did like a Q-tip size dot, I'm not even kidding, into the mixture and then mixed it up. I definitely could have used more. It ends up being a beautiful creamy white, but if she wanted it to be a little bit darker, or if you want it to be a little bit darker, we definitely should have, because it is not going to be at all the color that you're seeing here. And then you're just going to take that piping bag and literally pipe it into all of the cracks and crevices that you want. You can do it as thickly or as thin as you want. Like I said, we were kind of trying to get rid of as much of the grooves as possible and kind of make it a little bit more uniform. So that required a lot more of this mixture in the cracks, and that was totally fine, but just know that that is going to take a lot longer to dry. So keep that in mind. If you have these huge cracks like we did, it's probably best to start early in the morning, because you want to have it where it's almost somewhat dry, starting to dry at least, before you're going to go to the next step. And that next step is super easy as well. You're just going to take something like I think I either used a shim maybe here, or this is the paint stick again. I think I broke it off. I can't remember. But you want this mixture to be somewhat dry, and then you just squish this in to the crevices. This just makes sure that there's like no air pockets or holes or anything like that. And then you can kind of smear it on a little bit more. You guys can see there the difference of the top and the bottom, and just how crazy deep that those crevices were. I know I've said that a lot, but it's true. Also, do you guys realize how simple this is so far? Like, right? This is not too intimidating. This is definitely something you can do yourself. Save yourself a bunch of money and do it yourself, you guys. Also, I did not think I'd be seeing this scary ladder so soon again, but here we are. Oh my gosh, I do not like this thing. I had concrete bags at the end of it just to prevent it from slipping, but I was still a little bit terrified, but it's okay. Anything for my sister. So I was just getting all of the cracks at the top as well. And then funnily enough, my sweet sister was just trusting the process and that we were on the same page. I thought she just wanted the cracks filled in and then we were going to do like a lime wash or something on top of it. I don't really know, but she actually just wanted the entire thing smeared all over. So I basically had to go back to the beginning, totally fine. And I went back to the bottom part and then I started smoothing it all out and all over. And I just found the best way to use this was actually just using my gloves. So make sure you have some extra gloves on hand, because I think near the end I kind of ran out. It's totally fine. But yeah, we just went all over it. And don't worry really about having some peek through or some not, because we really did want the color to be the whole color I was using. Sorry, I was making faces at the baby. But yeah, that's also why this is a voiceover, is there were a lot of children and it was very loud. And so I figured this would be a lot better than trying to talk over toddlers and getting them to be quiet the entire day.
Okay, you guys, day 2. I thought it was gonna be one day. I thought I'd be shopping today. It's fine. No, but so this dried so much lighter than I was expecting. That's so crazy. I personally love it. I think Claire probably wishes it was darker, even though she's not telling me. But I love it. It's definitely, you can see it's not as dark. It still has like that creaminess to it, but really, really pretty. But if you want a darker color, you have to hire someone else. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and keep going, and I'm just gonna smear it on the top, and then we'll let it dry. And then I think I have to go over it with like a brush or something. I'm not sure. We're figuring this out as we go.
That's right. That is the DIY game, is figuring it out as you go. So I didn't actually show yesterday. I don't know why I skipped that part, but you need to get a bucket of water and a sponge, and you need to kind of go over where you put all of the Schmear, especially in the crevices. It just helps smooth it out a lot, and just make sure you're rinsing out your sponge a bunch, so then that way it's not just pulling it everywhere you go. I did, this was me finishing up top. I think I just did the cracks the night before, but I had to go. So I wanted to make sure that I had time to do this all in one go. So I paused, but I am just smearing some extra coloring all over the front of the stone. And then we're just going to repeat the process right here on the bottom. Again, just filling in those cracks and crevices. And I think I just used my glove because the bag dried out. So otherwise you would want to use the bag for this section as well. It just makes it a bit easier, but the crevices were not as deep, the grooves weren't as deep as they were on the actual fireplace itself. So yeah, just smeared that all over. Just kind of felt like I was being a toddler playing with my mashed potatoes, or being a little painter, who knows. Anyway, so this is what I'm talking about, is that you need to get a sponge and you just kind of smooth it out over top of where you put all of your schmear, all of your mortar, and it just gives it a nicer finish and helps it blend a lot better. Before I forget, and because I know I will get asked, the cost of this was a lot lower than what both of the quotes were from the 2 blog posts that we used. I think it was $35 for the bag, and then she paid a couple dollars for the sponge. She already had the buckets, and then I'm trying to think what else she would have paid for. Oh, the dye was $10, which we both laughed at because we literally used the tiniest, you can't even call it a drop. So this project came in under $50. Unless I'm incorrect, then I will let you know. But I already had a bunch of the attachments and stuff. So even if you did have to go out and buy some things, this is like under $100 project, you guys. And I think it's well worth it for the beauty that we achieved.
What? It's not a hammer. I guess, maybe. Just because it's so smooth down here. I don't know. No, tell me. I guess, but it's so much work. No, it's not.
Some tips from me doing this myself. You can see that I'm kind of wiping off because some of the flakes that came off of the top of little bits and pieces that had dried are going to come off as well. You can definitely protect your floors, but this all actually came up very easily off of my sister's, I don't know what kind of flooring this is, LVP, CBD, you know, like that kind of stuff. But anyway, so yeah, so just know that it helps to work kind of on the upper surface before. If you have something like this, then do this after and wipe it all off. And again, you can add different dyes to get different colors, and if you want it more tan or whatever. And then I had told my sister I would very happily do a lime wash as well, because some people do that for variation, where the base is more of a creamy white and then they'll do a lime wash, and it just gives different depth and a look of texture to it. But she said she just wanted it all as one. So that's what I did for her, but just know that that's definitely an option. And I will have linked down below all of the supplies that we used, as well as the 2 blog posts that we referred to that really helped me kind of figure out what to do. And then you can see the top, the difference. So that is it wet up top. That's the color that we kind of thought it was going to be. And then the bottom, except for some extra spaces that I filled in, that is what it actually dried to. So wild the difference.
Okay guys, what do you think? Super crazy, super fun. It definitely was a learning curve, but after I had done it, I was like, oh, this is actually very simple. So it's one of those things where you do it the first time and it's kind of like, okay, wait, is my consistency correct? Do I like the way this looks? Am I doing any of this right? And then after you do it, it's like, oh, I could do that again, and I could do it in probably half the time. So this took me a day and a half, only because we realized we had the wrong product at the beginning, as you saw, and just the color was wrong. And then just obviously like lunch and things and just figuring it out. So I did come back the next day and finish. And also her figuring out that she wanted it to be completely covered. Communication was crossed there. And so, yeah, so figuring all that out, it took less time, but definitely plan for 1 full day to do this. Start early in the morning, because it does take the time. You need the time for the mortar to kind of semi-dry, and then all of the in-betweens and everything. You want to make sure you're not starting and stopping. You want to make sure you've got a chunk. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. And like I said, this is just part 1 in the series. So we will be coming back to this space. We are bringing in all new furniture, new artwork, just gonna completely transform and redesign how this space functions for her. So I hope you guys will follow along. And like I said, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe if you aren't already, so you don't miss the rest of the series. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.